we are the loyal sons. We'll get 'em on the run, boys. We got 'em on the run. Yes, we are the loyal sons. We'll get 'em on the run, boys. We got 'em on the run.
Hello and welcome to another HLS Picks podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ritter. You can call me MD Tex. And as always, you can catch us live over here on twitch.tv/HerLittleSons. And of course, you can subscribe to the podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you happen to get your podcast feed at. Come join us in our live chat channel, Discord, HerLittleSons.com Discord. Of course, you can always find us at our home at HerLittleSons.com, where you can find our crazy holiday and bowl schedule over there now. And with that said, I am going to bring in Eddie. Eddie, how you doing, my friend?
Ryan, look above you. Do you see the sword of Damocles hanging so perilously above your head?
He ties it up and he thinks it's all over.
Oh, Ryan, it's coming. Do you feel it, Ryan?
I feel like I need to
feel the chill in the air.
I feel like I need to make up for last week.
Oh, there's no making up, Ryan. Your fate is sealed. Your fate was sealed long ago.
No, I don't think so, sir. I don't think so. I still got a way to fight out of this. But yes, Eddie is referring to the fact that we are now tied. He caught up on the 2 games. He went 9-5 last week. I went 500, 7-7. That brings our records to 84, 89, and 1. And of course, we are battling for the right to for a $100 donation. Loser will donate $100 over to Extra Life, which the marathon is fast approaching. I cannot believe it. So we have this week. We have the conference championship week, and if needed, we will do the Army-Navy pick, which it did come down to last year. So this has happened before. This would not be out of the norm. But we have another slate of games. I'm really excited to get to them. But first, let's talk about the HLS Pick'em, where Maume Muchachos has increased his lead. Some people was catching up, but a 5-game lead he has pushed it back to. So quite a nice little performance by him. Unfortunately, Sapipa, he had a bad week, but he gets dropped, which keeps him close by. And the top week, let me see, I just had it. It goes to Safari. It was a rough week for everyone. This is the first week in a while somebody didn't end up in the 20s. So good job by all. And if you're wondering where I'm going, just above 500, 154 and 153. Could be better, but at least I'm not below 500 there. You alive, Eddie?
Oh, I'm just letting you do your whole thing about pick'em things and whatnots. That
are you still staring at the fact that you're tied with me right now? Is it like you're precious?
I'm just waiting to be told to say the thing.
You know what? Go ahead. We got a lot of football to talk about. Go say the thing.
Let's go, baby.
All right, let's go ahead and bring up that beautiful board. For the first time in a while, we're going to pick some weekday games. I thought about putting the Egg Bowl in here for Thanksgiving night, but let's be honest, we're not really caring about that. Let's go to Friday instead. Let's talk about what we're going to do on our turkey hangover. And we're going to start with number 23, Virginia Tech, as a 2.5-point favorite on the road against Virginia. Total in this one is 47.5. Who do you got, Eddie?
Well, as always, to start off, Ryan does not speak for your boy. We definitely care about the Egg Bowl because, look, whether or not it's a quality game, it's always a fun game. And the odds of getting a on-the-field brawl, I mean, you're at like 70%, which is pretty good for me. Plus, what are you going to want to do? Watch terrible NFL football? No. Talk to your
I'll end up watching
family?
it.
Good God, no. I mean, it's the Cowboys or your great Uncle Steve, who has a whole lot of thoughts about Colin Kaepernick.
No,
why don't we just watch the Egg Bowl instead, kids? That's way more fun. But this game, ooh, buddy, Virginia Tech, Virginia, for the first time ever, trying to win the division. We could get 7 different coastal champions in 7 years. It's possible.
It is.
But Virginia Tech currently holds a 15-game winning streak against the Hoos. Look, UVA really hasn't looked good lately either. They barely got by North Carolina, only beat them by 7. They barely escaped a garbage Georgia Tech team by 5. And then they beat Hugh Freeze, who I think was probably coaching from a bidet at this point. I don't know where we've graduated to on the Hugh Freeze coaching furniture. But, okay, you beat Liberty. Cool story. Meanwhile, Va Tech, looking really good. They've covered 6 straight games. They've won 5 of those 6. The only one of those covers that they didn't win was the buzzer beater against Notre Dame. And that was a big spread. And that game was a little scary. They've got 2 straight shutout wins. And you really think Bud Foster is going to retire on a loss in this streak? Nah, man. Give me the Hokies.
Agree with everything Eddie said, plus this little fact. So this line originally opened at Virginia Tech +1, and everybody jumped on Va Tech. Right now, you know, still early. God, it's early. It's freaking Tuesday night we're doing this.
Yeah.
But Va Tech opened as a 1-point underdog, and then 68% of the bets, 53% of the money went and slammed that sumbitch. Now all of a sudden, Va Tech's a near 3-point favorite. For me, that tells you all that you need to know. The right side was always Virginia Tech. I think Vegas's little math just said, well, home field advantage in this rivalry game. Maybe Virginia gets a little bit spicy. I like the way Va Tech's trending. I don't like the way Virginia is trending. Like Eddie said, ever since they had the little buzzer beater disappointment, things have been pretty good for them. They played their way back into the top 25, and it wasn't by accident. So I'm going to play the hot hand here, also the trending hand as well, and take the Hokies take the Hokies in this one as well. We're going to move into our first top 25 matchup of the weekend, and this is basically to get the inside lane for the Cotton Bowl bid for the group of 5. Number 19 Cincinnati taking on number 18 Memphis, and Memphis is an 11-point favorite at home. Total on this one is 57.5. I tell you what, Cincinnati has felt like, I think the biggest warning sign that something was going to happen was that South Florida game not too long ago. They didn't look too good. They needed a last-second field goal to beat them. A lot of Cincinnati's games have been close. They had a scare against ECU as well earlier this year. Memphis, on the other hand, has been doing one thing consistently. I got a good feel for what they are. They put up a lot of points. Their defense is a little suspect. So what I'm looking for in this one is that Memphis will put up said points, give up the points per usual. This game will be a little bit close, but I think in the end, Memphis is going to actually end up pulling away in this one. Even though that feels like way too big a spread for Memphis, I just don't like where Cincinnati's offense has been trending. Because again, USF, how you not put points up against them, I don't know. So go ahead and give me Memphis. I'll take it. I think they're going to take the inside track on this one going into the Cotton Bowl. Who do you got, Eddie?
So going into this game in a vacuum, I was actually thinking Memphis. They're 8-2 against the number. Cincinnati's already clinched their division in the AAC. Memphis needs this game, so there's a little more motivation there. And you, as a wrestling fan, much like I am, you're looking at what's possibly going to be the AAC championship game next week. And so the idea of, oh my God, Memphis has pinned Cincinnati, the AAC Continental Champion. Will this get them a title shot? Oh, we'll have to check out the pay-per-view, children's. But you mentioned something very important, and that's that Cincinnati right now has the top G5 spot, and that gets them the Cotton Bowl bid. Cincinnati plays great defensive football. Nobody else in the conference gives a shit about defense. While typically I would take Memphis here just on the logic of they're going to see each other next week, Cincinnati's going to keep it vanilla. They don't really have too much to play for. They actually have something to play for here, and vanilla is kind of their standard anyway, and it still gets the job done for them pretty well. So I think Memphis wins this game. You still get the challenger pinning the champion before the pay-per-view. But I think Cincinnati covers here.
All right.
Especially because I don't think you're going to get Memphis is looking real rainy and real windy this Saturday. You could get into a sloppy kind of a rock fight, and that's what the Bearcats love, baby. Meow.
Oh, okay. I didn't even check the weather report. I did check the weather for one game, which we'll get to here in a second. But let's go ahead and move on to Saturday. So you get in the weekend, your family's out, you walk in Saturday, big nude Saturday, number one, Ohio State, your new number one team in the nation. A 9-point favorite on the road against Michigan. 52 points is your total in this. Eddie, I have a feeling we're both going here, but let's go ahead and detail it for the audience.
Yeah, fuck Michigan. Ohio State's really, 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 really good. Chase Young is well rested and angry. Michigan, sometimes you have to give the assholes credit. Since halftime of the Penn State game, they've been arguably a top 5 team in the country. They've been playing great football.
Fuck Michigan.
But man, Ohio State is way better than Michigan is. And it's whoever just dropped something in the chat. Fuck Michigan is what we live.
It's beautiful.
Fuck Michigan is what we stand for. I don't trust Michigan's offense, especially against Ohio State's defense. I mean, Chase Young, good night. I guess Banner Society was like, look, the 2 games that he missed, being Maryland and Rutgers, makes a whole lot of sense strategically, and it doesn't really have that much of an effect. But think how many sacks he would have had against those 2 trash-ass teams.
And he still broke the single-season record. It's incredible.
Well, he's at what, 16 and a half right now?
I forget his total number. I just know he is the new Ohio State leader in the clubhouse for single-season sacks.
And they've had some decent defensive players on that team. That's impressive, and I think he's good for at least, I'd say it at 2.5, and I'd feel good about the over.
Oh, feel good about the over, huh? Oh no, on the sacks. Okay.
On the sacks.
Need to reprogram my brain. I was like, that doesn't compute, Eddie. But that
no. Oh God, no. 52. Your boy's gonna be looking at the under, especially the 11 a.m.
Oh, absolutely. All right, I agree. Of course, number one, principles. Fuck Michigan. Always the guiding principle of this show. But 2, Ohio State's defense is absolutely insane. And they've only failed to cover 3 times this year. One was at the beginning of the year where they let Kiffykins in a very heroic cover come back and open up the back door for them. Then they went on a murderous tear. Then they failed to cover the gigantic 40, 50-point spread, whatever the hell it was, against Rutgers because they actually let them score in the first half. The only team to this point that scored in the first half against Ohio State. And the other time they failed was when they decided, hey, let's turn the ball over a lot last week because they were covering before Justin Fields and J.K. Dobbins decided they were going to give a little bit of an early Thanksgiving gift over to Penn State. So I see no reason why to not continue riding that hot hand. I'm not worried about the lack of 2 covers in a row and think if anything, that's actually brought this number closer down to where I feel it should be. I think this is kind of a double digit because Michigan has not really faced. We thought Penn State was the first good defense that they faced, and they kind of got waxed a little bit. But then some of Penn State's problems in their defense started to show. Some of the cracks that we've seen before that Minnesota also exposed. And then Notre Dame is the complete outlier for both teams. Notre Dame just flat out the defense. They had it for a while, and then they just got worn down. And that was because of offensive ineptitude. I don't think you're going to have that with Ohio State whatsoever. J.K. Dobbins is going to do some damage. Justin Fields will clean up the rest of the mess. I don't think Don Brown's defense, what they do, and we talked about this post-show Michigan, it's very simple. They come at you with pressure. They put people on islands. Ohio State will both be able to run around, set blitzes, and Fields will be able to react to them quick, make the right reads. I think this could get murdery as well. I know all the Michigan fans are like, oh, Urban Meyer's gone. Maybe we'll have a chance to win now. Nah, son, that's still Urban Meyer's fingerprints still all over that program. You're not done with that yet. Enjoy the next L.
Ryan, are you claiming that J.K. Dobbins is a better running back than anyone on the Notre Dame roster?
You know, this is hard to believe, Eddie, but that is what I'm saying right now.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know I was on fucking First Take with Skip Bayless out here with these hot-ass takes. Wow.
All right, well, moving on from jokes. This game might end up being a joke too. Number 3, Clemson, a 27-point favorite on the fucking road against South Carolina. Total on this one is 51.5. Look, Clemson is on their murder bullshit right now. South Cackalack, they put some scares into people. They got the ability to do some stuff. I know we're all in rivalry week, and you should throw all the records out the window.
Hey, you got one.
I've gotten 2, son. Keep count. But yeah, I just can't see Scar keeping up. I really, really can't at all. So I'm gonna keep riding with Clemson. That defense way too damn good. That rushing attack way too deadly. And yeah. They know they need right now. Clemson, there's very few quality wins. They have to play perfection right now, and they have to keep looking good to hold on, just in case weirdness happens around them. So go ahead and give me Clemson to cover by those 4 TDs. Who do you got, Eddie?
I mean, it's weird that I feel like Clemson has somehow gone under the radar this year. They're undefeated. They are 8-2 against the spread. They have been fucking murdering people for the last month and a half. They already had their bad game against North Carolina. South Cackalack, they're usually good for maybe one crazy play above your head game a year.
They had it.
We got that against Georgia already. South Cackalack is 4-6 against the spread this year. A 37-point spread, maybe I'd consider it. Even then, I still think I'm going Clemson. This feels way too low. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's so weird. A late season game at the tail end, and we're going to talk about another one that's also up there. But man, it's so weird to say that these numbers feel low. And speaking of that, we're going to go to number 4, Georgia, who again on the road, a 28-point favorite against a hapless Georgia Tech team. The total on this one is 46.5. This one, though, a little bit more interesting to try to project and call. Interested to see where you land on this one, Eddie.
Yeah, see, this doesn't feel low at all, and that's not because of anything to do with the Bees. It's because of how Georgia plays football. Georgia is a big-ass snake. They just want to sidle on up to you and give you a big old hug until you turn blue and you quit breathing, and then they eat you. The problem for the Bees is bees are very small, and a big old snake can do that real quick to a little bitty bee.
I love how we're using biology as the logic here.
As a noted anthropologist scientist, your boy is here to tell you Georgia Tech is fucking terrible at football.
I think this is the first time we picked one of their games, period.
I feel like we had the Bees early on this year at some point.
I think maybe against Clemson. I think it's the only other time we've done it.
That sounds right. Look, Georgia's way better. I do not like Georgia's offense. I've made a whole lot of money betting against Georgia this year just because they don't score. The real play with Georgia is you bet an under. You know what they are when it comes to the total this year, Ryan?
I do not, but I have a feeling they are well under pretty consistently.
They have hit the over once this entire season.
What game? I wonder what game that was. Do you happen to know that off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no, of course I don't.
All right.
But if I look on the old web page from the sports line, folks, the Tennessee game, only time they've gone over.
That makes sense.
And that was a 43-14 win for Georgia.
All right.
The other reason, I mean, this could be a 35-0 win, pretty easy for Georgia. I mean, hell, Virginia Tech, who is not as good defensively, I'd put them a little better offensively than Georgia, but they're not terribly unlike a poor man's Georgia. They beat the Bees 45-0.
All right.
That seems like a very easy thing for Swift and co to do, especially knowing that they got LSU coming. They got to start opening up that offense. They got to start getting a little more creative. Fromm got to let loose a little bit last week, and when he did, he was completing passes. So I think maybe Kirby Smart's going to use this as kind of a live fire practice, let the offense get a little loose. And at the end of the day, man, the Bees are just bad.
So that is a Georgia cover, sir?
Oh yeah, we on them dogs.
All right. So this is very interesting, and like I said, for everything that we talked about, it's mostly because Georgia is a hard team to pick when it comes to the spread because their offense does kind of whatever the fuck. Georgia is 6-5 against the number. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, is 3-8 because it doesn't seem to matter how high you set the opponent's number. Georgia Tech doesn't hit it. Now, one of those three, I don't know where all of them are at, but I know one of those three was against Miami where they fucking lost to the Bees. I still can't believe that.
Man, can we take a second?
It's no FIU.
To talk. Can we please talk about Miami against FIU?
By all
because
means.
two of the funniest things from college football this entire year happened because of that game.
Sidebar granted.
No, Exhibit A, Your Honor. They got throat slashed by a fucking kicker after an extra point.
Oh, you just have to quit college football, like, forever.
Exhibit B, one of their players, I think it was one of their linebackers, after the game said, look, all year,
Nice.
all week in practice, we didn't call them the University of Miami. They're not the University of Miami. We are. We call them the University of Coral Gables. We got more students. We're worldwide. We're the University of Miami.
Oh, God. So great. Oh, man.
Incredible. Just incredible. Holy shit. Manny Diaz is at. Boy, you should have stayed at Temple. God damn.
Mark Rick fucking imploded that thing. It's like, you know what? You want me gone? Fine, fuckers. Watch this sucker go straight to the bottom of the damn ocean. Enjoy.
Can you imagine if he had a heart attack working 1 day a week with CBS Sports?
It was all the cheese balls, man.
Hey, let's not throw the cheesy doodles in there. Hell, you can put Stephen A. Smith in a hospital. Good night. I'm sorry, we were talking about the Georgia Tech game.
Yeah, all right. So we'll circle back around to a team that beat Miami, and that is Georgia Tech. But yes, that is. It doesn't get old.
It's still. I forgot how we got there. It's very funny still.
I'm trying to bring it back around. So yeah, 3-8 against the number is Georgia Tech, and one of those was against Miami, where they beat them. Oh Lord. And yeah, at the end of the day, basically, we've done a long sidebar, so I'll get to the damn point. I'm taking the Bulldogs as well because it is simply the fact. The telling number for me is where the total is. And it's basically saying, yeah, we're not expecting Georgia Tech to do shit. And I'm not expecting much. I wouldn't be surprised if they get blanked. Like Eddie said, that hasn't been out of the realm of possibility this year. This is something where I can actually see the backups coming in, without a doubt. So yeah, they do need to get a little bit loose. I don't think they have to get very loose, because they could just steamroll Georgia Tech. So normally I would trust my gut and pick against Georgia, but not in this situation. All right, we're going to pick one of the few games on our card that does not have a number next to either team, and that is Louisville taking on Kentucky. And Louisville, don't know if y'all noticed, folks, but they could have an 8-win season if they pull this sucker off, which is kind of crazy to think from where they were just a year ago after Pitino did who knows what the fuck to them. Apparently, they just needed somebody to love and care for them, or at least pretend to give a shit. But anyways, Kentucky is a 3-point favorite. Total in this game is 53. And like I said, Louisville has quietly put together one heck of a season, and basically this game is more or less a pick'em if you want to take those 3 points at home and consider that the difference here. So, you know what? What the hell? It's been a fun story. Let's see if the fun story continues. Let's see if Notre Dame ends up having another team that they played sneak into the bottom half of that top 25. I'm going to take Louisville in this one. What the hell? Let's get weird. Who do you got, Eddie?
For some reason, I don't have a Coach of the Year ballot, which seems strange to me. I feel like as a valued and prestigious member of the media, I should have one, but I don't. But that's fine. That being said, Scott Satterfield, what he has done at Louisville has been absolutely incredible. I mean, you look at what Louisville was last year. Obviously, the lame duckiest of lame ducks. You've got 40 pizzas in 30 days, Papa John getting run out of town in his Camaro.
He looks like the picture of complete well-being right now.
You've got, you put Petrino's headshot up next to Papa John's headshot from that interview. And it's understandable why they only won 3 games last year. But like you said, I mean, they're looking at possible 8-win year. 6-4 against the number. Their offense has really turned it on lately. They've been putting up points much better than they were. I mean, hell, they dropped 56 last week, dropped 34 against a fairly game NC State team at NC State.
That got ugly so fucking fast. Oh my God.
Oh, that Syracuse game was that was brutal. Meanwhile, Kentucky, I for some reason have this weird soft spot in my heart for Kentucky football.
Snell ain't there no more.
Benny Snell ain't there anymore. I don't know. And they're on, I think, their 17th string quarterback at this point. They have been ravaged by injuries. They did beat the shit out of Vanderbilt last week, so you got that going for them. But all that being said, I really like what Louisville's doing, and I'm going to take the Cards here as well.
All right. Well, we're agreeing so far on all the at least Saturday games. We got one more before we hit the break, and that's number 9 Baylor facing off against Les Miles in Kansas on the road. They are a 14-point favorite on the road are the Bears. Total in this one is 52. Who do you got, Eddie?
I got to give Les Miles some credit. Kansas is a lot better than I think we thought they were going to be coming into the year.
They're watchable.
They've only got 2 wins, but 5-5 against the number. They've been game against a lot of opponents. Should have beat Texas. They had it right there. And there's I wish we had that game on the slate because there are plenty of jokes to be had. But Kansas, I mean, give them, They fought hard against Iowa State last week, a very good Iowa State team. Put up a decent fight against Oklahoma State, and then it went south on them. They got stomped by some other teams. Beat Tech though. All that being said, man, Baylor covered more than this against Texas. This Baylor team is legit. I am slightly concerned about the fact that Baylor has already clinched their spot against OU in the Big 12 title game, and that they just kind of take this as a week off. But let's be serious. Kansas doesn't have anything to play for. Obviously, Baylor beat the shit out of Texas. Kansas couldn't get the job done against them. And Kansas doesn't care now. It's basketball season. They're watching what's going on in Maui. They're checking the mailbox, hoping that nothing comes from the NCAA with a NOI. They've moved on to the next sport. I think Baylor just waxes them.
Yeah, and Baylor, despite the fact that they have had a little bit of issues as far as the offense, because that's been the real story, is Baylor's offense sometimes can't seem to get started. But they've been 7-4 against the number. So wherever the number's been, they've been pretty much right on it for most of the season. Kansas 5-6 against the number. Now, it is super early, so the one thing that is warning me against this, and I mean super early, we have just over 500 tickets. You got over 80% of the tickets and the money right now on the Bears, but the line hasn't budged yet. So apparently,
yeah, that's a That's a Tuesday,
It's a very
and like
early
you said, it's
Tuesday
only
thing.
500 tickets. I'm not too worried about that one yet.
Yeah, and there's been a little bit of movement, even with less tickets than that. Kind of looking at the slate overall. So the fact that it hasn't moved yet, either there's no big money to scare Vegas, or they feel comfortable with where it's at, and I honestly feel comfortable where it's at too, because not just what the Baylor did to Texas, but what they were able to put up against a pretty good OU defense. Now, granted, the second half did not end well in any way, shape, or form for Baylor against OU, but I like what they're putting together. The other thing that concerns me is they're on the road, but let's go ahead and stick with the Bears in this one as well.
Yeah. Noted death knell Kansas football stadium.
Right? Hey, look, when you're not sleeping in your own bed, you're not in your own locker room, weird shit will happen. But that's all for the first half. We got a few more things to pick. We got more top 25 matchups. We got Iron Bowl. We got Notre Dame coming up next. All right, folks, I'm going to hit the old ad button. I'm going to refresh my drink, too. I will be back in 60.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, I got to hit the head, so
right.
maybe a little more than 60.
Okay. I'll double
Thanks,
check.
bud.
All right, got to make room in the beer fridge for the holiday stuff. Yeah, so it was mentioned earlier. Benny asked me if I had a money line sprinkle. Where I got it is Arkansas. They're like plus 300 something or other right now. Mizzou just got sanctions laid down on them. No hope of a bowl game. That's the final death knell in the coffin that I'm happy with. And Mizzou also sucks on the road. They have yet to win straight up on the road all season. And I know Arkansas hasn't won against Power 5, so something's got to give. What the hell? Let's get weird. Oh. All right, so that ad is off. We'll wait for Eddie to get back here. Should have run a longer one, but whatever. We'll roll with it. End of the season, starting to feel the drain. All right.
Sorry, back. Can I tell you the problem with your Arkansas money line, bud?
I would love to hear it because I already had Sean Bass take me to task for it earlier.
I like the idea, but there was a tweet earlier that I retweeted with a joke. Let me find it real quick. Apparently, there is a pretty huge outbreak of the mumps with the. Here's the tweet. Arkansas Athletics released a statement yesterday about the mumps incident on the Arkansas campus.
Oh, fuck.
Sources tell me number of football players with mumps is significant.
Oh, shit. You know what? Well, honestly, it can't get worse.
I mean, significant can mean a lot of things.
It really can. But can they play through it? Can they play through the mumps?
Can they give the mumps to Missouri?
You know what? Anything's possible. They don't have to go to a bowl game.
Well, they can't go to one now.
No, I'm in Arkansas.
Are you gonna want to tackle somebody that might have the mumps?
I don't think so.
Oh, wait, actually, oh shit, you might be on something.
You gotta go into business for yourself.
I might be turning the corner on this, actually.
Oh,
shit,
okay.
This is gold. Here's your cold open. Fuck.
Yeah.
Mump talk.
Mump.
Let's go.
Mump time. All right, let's get back into it.
Where's the Greg Schiano news when you need him?
Oh, God. That was MRSA, sir.
Hey, 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
Okay. Try to maintain. All right. All right, we are back, and it's time to get 7 more games here on the slate, and we're going to kick it off strong just like we did the first half. Iron Bowl time. Alabama, number 5 in the nation, a 3.5-point favorite on the road Again, somehow still above ND, number 15, Auburn.
If Auburn beats Alabama, my dick will pull a Shane.
Okay, so his dick's going to rocket into orbit if Auburn wins the Iron Bowl. Total is 50. Eddie, we should be on you, I believe, sir.
There's weird things going on, and I thought that was just from the ad talk about mumps. Things got weirder, apparently. Ryan, I'm going to hit you with something real quick. Let me know how this hits you. No Bix.
No Bix.
We don't trust Bo Nix in this household, baby. I don't care that Tua's out. You know who Alabama's coming in at quarterback?
Matt Jones, right?
Who?
God. I can't believe I fucking fell for that.
Who?
Just keep going.
281-330-8004.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
going to be a stat line. 281 yards. 3 touchdowns. No interceptions. 8 rushing yards. 4 rushing touchdowns.
You're
Let's
trying
go.
way too hard there.
Give me the Tide. Mike Jones forever. Still tipping. Let's go.
God. All right, well, what helps Auburn is that this is at home. What doesn't help Auburn is that, as Eddie said, Bo Nix has, as the
No
solid
Nix.
verbal likes to put it for Oklahoma, that Jalen Hurts is both the solution and the problem to everything going on with Oklahoma. That pretty much is Auburn as well. Now, Auburn has a solid defense. They keep games tight. They keep things close. But, man, I don't know if that hook's going to bail me out here. I really don't. However,
Oh.
Eddie, a man has got to live by principles, does he not?
A man's got to have a code.
He does. He does have to have a code. Roll Tide? Fuck you! War Eagle, baby. Shout out Coach O.
Shout out Coach O forever.
I can't believe
Thank God he's at LSU.
the best LSU coach ever. God, SCU fucked up so bad.
All right, so wait, I know we don't have him on the card. There's no way that UCLA win saved Clay Helton's job, is there?
You know what? I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't.
Man, it did cash the over on season wins, which was devastating for me.
Oh,
but like, you've got to think, especially with the new AD coming in, they're going to want to start fresh. Even with the alleged rumors that they are not allowed to hire Urban Meyer, you've got to think either you've got Urban Meyer, there's the old Jeff Fisher rumor, which
always,
yes, please.
It's fucking Gruden and Notre Dame. Never goes
exactly.
away.
The other one that's been gaining steam is James Franklin.
Yeah, and
Which-
that I've heard, and I know Ty feels like over on the Solid Verbal that is mostly talk to try to drive a nice contract extension for him over at Penn State. Which, you know what, got to respect the hustle, but
Always respect the hustle. Shout out PJ Fleck. row them dollar boats, baby.
oh God, we're about to get to him too. But yeah,
Yeah, we should. Hey, look, segue.
Let's go ahead and do it. But number
Got 'em.
12, Wisconsin, and is coming in, and Minnesota is at home rowing their home boats. Number 8 in the nation, but Wisconsin is your favorite. 2.5 points total in this one is 47. Wisconsin, they've been playing real good. They have. It looks like they got back on track. I can't get that Northwestern game out of my head. I can't look at the fact that they're favored on the road. Minnesota as a home dog really feels like the right side. The other thing scaring me, Eddie, there's actually 2,000 tickets on this. 45% of the bets are on Wisconsin, but 77% of the money. It's a little scary. That it's like feels like some sharp action or a really drunk dude that's a Badger fan. Could be either or. But this seems too tasty. Could be a trap. I'll row right into that. Home dog it right now. Give me PJ Fleck in Minnesota. Who do you got?
Wow, I'm surprised. You hit me with the old switcheroo. I thought commentary wise you were going Wisconsin. I am, however, going with Wisconsin. I don't think that Minnesota can slow down JTT. I don't think they've seen anybody like Jonathan Taylor this year. how someone as good as Jonathan Taylor has gone. We've talked about him a bunch. You've got the solid verbal guys, your PAPN, shutdown full cast, like super online college football people talk a lot about Jonathan Taylor, but I feel like nationwide, Jonathan Taylor's entire career has gone kind of under the radar.
It really has.
A lot like, honestly, Ron Daines did back in the day. I remember you had Ricky Williams. Everybody, we were kids. We were 13, 14 when Ricky Williams was really killing it. And then Ron Dayne came and broke everything. And I don't remember hearing shit about him until like his last 2 games of his senior year. Nobody gave a damn about him. And I feel like nobody's really given a damn about Jonathan Taylor. And that's crazy because that dude is insanely good at football. Minnesota's had a hell of a year. Their wide receivers are great, but they're banged up. That concerns me a little bit. Obviously, everything is on the line here. This is for the spot in the Big Ten title game. Minnesota has been solid defensively. I think looked it up earlier. Currently 25th in S&P or SPPLUS defensively.
SPPLUS.
but Wisconsin's ranked 11th offensively, SPPLUS. And I mean, Jonathan Taylor is the best player on the field, and I think by a wide margin. I like the small line. This is going to be a close game. The total's low for a reason, but I've got to go with the best player on the field. I'm going to take the Badgers.
All right. Well, it looks like this season, much like many things, Eddie, can be won or lost in the second half right now. Disagreeing right off the bat for these 2 games. Let's move over to the Pac-12. This is not the only Pac-12 game on our slate, but we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit. Oregon State. Oregon is your home team, number 14 in the nation, after getting upset by Herm. 19-point favorites, total is 65.5. Who do you got, Eddie?
Man, Justin Herbert looked like shit in that game.
It's a good thing he came back, huh?
And he hasn't really looked good all year.
Yep.
I was listening to today's or maybe it was yesterday's episode of the Cover 3 podcast, and they were talking about kind of the idea that Justin Herbert is this year's. They called him the Emperor the Emperor has new clothes. The idea that everyone's like, oh yeah, coming in the year, Justin Herbert's going to be a top pick. He's going to be great. And then the shutdown fullcast guys hit the joke of John Elway is going to see a tall guy who plays quarterback who throws really long interceptions. And that didn't make me feel great as a Denver Broncos fan because it felt a little too close to home.
It's funny because it's true, Eddie.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Oregon State's been a laughingstock for the last couple of years. They've played pretty damn hard this year. They're 6-3 against the number in D1 games. Both teams are coming off of a loss, but Oregon just got stomped out by fucking Herm and lost their entire season. They've lost the Pac-12 title game to Utah. They've lost any shot at the playoff. Oregon State had a devastating late loss to the Fighting Leeches, but it's not like they were playing for anything anyway. Oregon ought to win this game, but I'll take 3 touchdowns. Give me the Beavs.
Well, I was hoping I might be the only one on this. We actually agree, Eddie. Like you said, Oregon State good against the number you gave a very specific one on the season as a whole, 8-3. Oregon, on the other hand, 6-5 against the number. And if you remember that Oregon's kind of bookended with some weird shit as far as it goes against the number. They should have beaten Auburn. They let Auburn waltz right back into that game and start a legend of Bo Nix a little bit too early when he clearly wasn't ready for it. And then they let Herm do whatever the hell that was there. Oregon, just to put it in perspective, Herm punted on the opposing 33-yard line and still managed to play keep away from them.
Someone sent me a tweet about why do you hate Herm so much on the podcast? And it's that NFL AIDS bullshit right there.
Yes.
That's what made, and it wasn't like, I have nothing against Herm personally. It is that NFL bullshit mentality that I knew he was going to bring.
You play to
That's
win the
exactly
game,
what he's
Eddie.
done. It's exactly what he's done. And oh god, we have to pick a fucking Herm game in like 3 games, and I don't want to do it. Continue.
That's the
I
only reason
apologize.
it's on the fucking sheet.
I'm
We have
ver-
to stick to
I'm-
our bits.
I got the Ace Phoenix super objection button today. I apologize.
All right. No, it's all good. But yes, Oregon, man, fraudulent ass ducks. You are not to be trusted with large spreads.
Wow.
I started to trust you. It actually paid off a couple times. Now you have shown me the errors on my ways. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Mario Cristobal is not to be trusted. I should have trusted Tom Fornelli when he said never trust him with a large spread. You got to stick to your principles when they're out there. So yeah, that's why I'm going Beavs. This is all they got to play for, man. They're gonna get spicy. Just fucking go for it. They absolutely piss all over Oregon and fucking ruin their shot at even going to the fucking New Year's Six.
Also, fraudulent duck game coming to Switch holiday 2020.
What?
It's the sequel to Untitled Goose Game.
I was about to say, is that like an actual, like it could be a game? Like I wouldn't be surprised.
We're branching out. We're taking. I'm trying to. HLS only has a podcast. You've never decided to start a website or a newsletter or anything like that.
Motherfucker.
I'm trying to branch you out into other things. I see all these other successful Notre Dame.
Moving on.
figures.
Speaking of fraudulent ass teams, Texas A&M 62.5 is the point total against number 2 LSU, who is a 17-point favorite. And I honestly think part of me with my tinfoil hat is the committee purposefully jumped Ohio State so they don't have to hear from College Station, we played 3 number 1 teams in the same season. Y'all, you couldn't get a fucking rushing yard against Georgia. There is no fucking way I am taking you against LSU. These fools, as soon as they beat Arkansas, they were talking about whipping your ass. They are pissed. They are hungry. They are coming from blood. Coach O, we coming. Coach O. So,
Wow.
not happening. I'm turning my back on Jimbo. You have ruined the thing I love, Jimbo. Fuck you. Go LSU. Go Tigers.
He's abandoned his son. I'm stunned. I'm not ready to call the Aggies fraudulent.
I'm mad at them. I'm so mad at them.
I can understand that. I really do. But we've brought up the Solid Verbals body blow theory for years. A&M has had just a brutal schedule. And while the wins and losses aren't really there, they put up a fight. Georgia's top 4 team, top 5. What are they at? What the rankings come out? I never watched that.
Georgia's
shit.
number 4 right now.
Yeah, Georgia's number 4, and they were in it late, held it to a 1-score game.
That's a Georgia problem.
That is a lot of that is a Georgia problem.
Again,
You're
negative
not wrong.
1 rushing yards. What the shit?
I mean, that's not great.
No, it's not. Especially when Kellen Mond can only put up barely 100 yards of passing. Fucking awful.
You look at the teams that they lost to this year. They lost to Clemson. It was only a 2-touchdown game, and that was early in the year.
Bullshit cover.
And that was a bullshit cover. You lost to Auburn. I
God, they
obviously
look
am
like
not going
ass
to
in
put
that
much
game,
in
too.
on that one.
They look like
They look
ass in that game.
bad. They look bad in that game. You lost to a full-strength Bama. Yeah, everybody loses to a full-strength Bama. And then obviously last week's game against Georgia. Look, I don't know why I'm trying to defend Aggie here.
I'm actually surprised you're trying to.
Yeah, no, I'm taking LSU. LSU's coming off a bye. They're going to beat the fuck out of them.
I love you
I'm
just
not
called
setting up
Arkansas.
I'm
You
not
just
setting
called
up a
Arkansas
cover
a
pick.
bye.
I'm just saying I've my entire life made Aggie jokes as a symptom of growing up in Austin. I hate Jimbo Fisher. He's an asshole. But I there's something about A&M and their weird Aggie cult, and they are on some weird cult shit. Don't get me wrong. But there's a weird, like, back of the brain tingly kindred spirit thing that I feel with Aggie, which scares me in and of itself. They want to be good so bad, and they think they are so much higher in the echelon of college football than they ever have been, and they've always thought this. And part of me is like, "Aw, you're adorable." And I feel bad for them because this year they're taking a lot of lumps that I don't think they necessarily deserve.
About to take another one.
All that being said, it's going to get nasty. Joe Burrow's going to make sure he keeps that Heisman. LSU's going to get that one back. They had a week off. They're coming out live fire. This is going to be bad.
I keep loving it. Just fucking Arkansas getting shit all over right now. It's so great.
God, that Coach O clip.
He apologized for it. You know that? He apologized for that shit.
I mean, I don't think he needed to apologize for it, but I get it. But that was just, man, that was fucking ice cold.
Haven't beaten anybody lately. Ain't gonna celebrate.
Yeah. I dunked on a 3-foot kid on a Fisher Price basket. Fuck am I going to celebrate?
As an Aggie fan, the Aggies would fucking celebrate and give Reveille a new fucking tradition based off of it.
Yeah, give Lady Queen Dog a 7th star general or whatever the fuck they do in that.
Actually, let's bring it back around to Arkansas. Transitive property. The Texas A&M is the only fucking team that gave Arkansas a fight. What the hell?
Yeah, also.
Oh, God. Okay.
Also true.
Moving on. And let's get to two. We're going to do back-to-back teams you hate picking for or against, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, this is not a great lineup. The next 3 is painful for me. Yes. I'm not gonna lie.
This is the Eddie is going to have his hair pulled out special. Bedlam time. Number 7, Oklahoma, a 13-point favorite. Number 21, Oklahoma State, a 69.5-point favorite. Not favorite is the total. I'm getting delirious at this point. All right, Eddie, go for it.
Ryan, has anyone traveled back in time and taught the dumbass Roughnecks how to turn in a schooner?
Not recently.
Nope. Oklahoma can't cover shit. They're broken. I don't give a damn. Is Oklahoma way better than Oklahoma State? Yup. But we're still talking about Bedlam. It's at Okie State. Thank God it's at Stillwater. That makes this pick so much easier. Do you know what Oklahoma's record is against the number in actual D1 games?
I do not. I only have the full record in front of me right now, sir.
Oh, well, in D1 games, they are 3-7 against the number.
Jesus.
That's very bad. Their offense drops like 6 points when they're on the road. And lately, I think Jalen Hurts himself is averaging 3 turnovers a game over the last 3 games. He's broken. He saw that wagon fall apart, and he was like, oh, no, my knee. Oh, no, my time at Alabama. Oh, no, my childhood doggy wagon. And then the doggy fell into the sewer, and then the clown from It ate the fucking dog. Give me the pokes. Bang, bang.
So I made the mistake last week of taking Oklahoma, despite the fact that the wheels fell off the wagon. And I even Eddie, I even went and bet them as well. I stood by my pick. Actually, no, I didn't bet their side. I bet the over is what I did. And Eddie, I sent you a tweet.
That was a rough one.
That was a very rough one. Thanks, Jalen Hurts. Your fucking fumbleitis really screwed me there. But do you remember what I sent you on Twitter, Eddie, and said I'm reconsidering the fact that I picked OU? Do you remember what I sent you? That tweet, the little video that I sent you, sir?
Yes, I do.
So I sent Eddie this video of the fucking Sooner mascot, one of their dumbass horses, him and Lady Horse are sitting there like fucking scootering through Norman. Dumbass. Some dude's filming this. Dumbass motherfucker runs right into a fucking parking meter. Pets' heads are falling off. Literally.
Face first into the parking meter.
Their pets' heads are falling off. The wheels are coming off. There's no fraudulent ass OU in your big spreads. Nope, not doing it again. Eddie, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. I'm doing the Hokies here. No way I'm taking the Pokes, man. I can't do OU again. I got burned bad last week. So bad.
Hey, you know what? I love it because that means you're on the same side as an Oklahoma State pick with me. So that's we all know the curse of that team with me. There's never been a more cursed team
Fade
in
it,
my
folks.
mind. So
Fucking fade it.
oh yeah,
God
take
bless.
OU, buy up to -20 for like +220.
All right.
Get paid.
I
Put your
think
goddamn kids through college.
I think I miscounted stuff somewhere because I usually let you take Notre Dame games last. So somewhere you went back to back, or I went back to back or something.
After the break, I think we flipped.
Yeah, so I will let you lead off on this one, especially. Let's let you lead.
Yeah, sure. Let me lead against Herm. Oh, Herman.
Arizona State is the game. 13.5 points is the spread. 59.5 is the total. Neither of these teams are ranked, despite Arizona State, coming up and squarely biting Oregon in the ass. I see. I know where I'm going in this one, Eddie. So what you pick is not going to influence me at all, and I'll even put it up on the stream because I know you're not watching it right now, just so people don't think I'm fucking around. Who do you got, Eddie?
You're a gentleman and a scholar. I'm gonna ride with Herm, and I hate riding with Herm, but we established last week the numbers 1-1 with him. Last week I was 2-2 fading. I'm now 2-3 because he just beat the hell out of Oregon. This has nothing to do with Herm. This has nothing to do with Arizona State. I will give them this. Eno Benjamin, fantastic. I think that's been lost in all of the Arizona State jokes that I've made. Eno Benjamin is really, really, really good at football, and I like him a lot. Arizona sucks, dude. They're terrible. 3-7, 2-8 against the number. Oof. If someone keeps coaching this team after this year, honestly, I think I'd be surprised because
I would too.
He is just driven them right into the ground. I will take Sparky here. The thought of laying 2 touchdowns with Herm terrifies me. But fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, well, you talked about 2-8-1 for Arizona on the number. They are not just bad; they are that bad consistently. Arizona State not much better, 4-6-1, but I just count that up to general Herming. But yeah, and the reason I put my X solidly next to Arizona State, it is 2 touchdowns, it is a lot, but Arizona is just so bad. Sumlin is in a death spiral. We've seen this happen in Texas A&M. They didn't recover out of it. They're not recovering out of this one. Plus, this game is at home for Arizona State. They're flying high after the win. I don't expect much of a letdown because it is a rivalry matchup. They're still going to want to beat the living dog shit out of Arizona. They see the wounded animal. Look, Herm will. I have a feeling as weird NFL shit as he does, Herm knows. You got blood in the water. You kill that motherfucker. He's going to be able to do it. I just don't think Arizona can keep up. Everything's bad. Their defense is awful. And really, you have the opposite in freshman quarterback trajectory going on right now. Just getting better and better for Arizona State. It started real bad, and then all of a sudden you see them putting up over 400 passing yards on Oregon, and their strength was supposed to be the defense. Yikes. So yeah, go ahead and give me Herm. But all right, we got one more game to pick. It is ours, Eddie. We're heading into Stanford. 16.5 point favorite are the number 16 Irish. Total on this one is 51. A little bit of bonus pick here, Eddie. Have you seen the weather forecast for this game?
Yup.
Wonder time, folks. There is a little bit of rain. It will be raining consistently, but apparently it's one of those light California type rains. Will only be about a quarter of an inch total cumulative, so it's not going to be a fucking monsoon as much as I was joking around earlier today. However, you are going to have 15 to 18 mile an hour fucking crosswinds in this game. Y'all remember how Virginia Tech went? Just kind of give yourself an FYI there. Under. This thing's at 51. It's coming down a little bit. Catch it before it dives below 50. However, all that being said, you would think, oh, wait, this happened against Virginia Tech. It could be a little bit wet. Notre Dame's going to do that weird gremlin shit where if they get water or something, or they get fed after midnight, there's some kind of time change going on here for them and body clocks and all that shit. I am still taking Notre Dame. Why am I taking Notre Dame? Because Stanford is absolute fucking garbage this season. And you know what they can't do anymore, folks? They can no longer run the ball. This weather does not really lend to you being able to pass the ball. So they are going to have to rely on the one thing that they can't do. They are actually going to have to face one of the better secondaries they've faced all season. Kyle Hamilton, pick 6, is written all over this sucker when one of those passes gets caught up in the wind. This is going to end very poorly for Stanford. And I know that Notre Dame's rushing attack hasn't been much to write home about it. We joked about it earlier in this podcast. But Stanford's defense is also fucking trash this year. On top of that, half of Stanford's team is fucking hurt on top of this. There is ever a time for this godforsaking losing at the farm BK era bullshit to end. It is this game right here. It doesn't get any better than this. This is Maverick getting in the fucking fighter plane and dude just sitting there, please shoot me, please fucking shoot me, please shoot me. As long as Notre Dame doesn't wuss out and disengage, they whip the shit out of Stanford. They have a very wet and angry and sad David Shaw. Notre Dame should cover in this one. Against better judgment, against all past history. I'm going to lay damn near 17 points in this game, and I'm not going to think twice about it. Who do you got, Eddie?
Ryan, let's go on a journey together, because I feel like I'm coming at you with split personalities right now. The angel and the devil on my shoulders are yelling so much, and so we're going to talk it through. We're going to work this out. A little free therapy for your boy.
All right, let's see what we can do here.
You mentioned the injuries to Stanford. I got this from good old the Oracle, Phil Steele. He of preseason prognostication. KJ Costello out. Okay, he sucks, so that doesn't really move the needle a whole ton. Safety Malik Antoine out. That's very helpful. Most importantly, Paulson Adebo, who I still dream about.
Sad. I know. Still makes
lining
me sad.
up in the blue and gold. God, how good would our secondary be if Adebo had come to Notre Dame?
Adebo and Hamilton, y'all.
Oh, God, we'd be so good.
Dream a dream and then be really sad when you wake up.
But Adebo's out, which does not break my heart. As much fun as it would be to watch Adebo versus Claypool, I think that'd be a great matchup to watch from a outsider's football perspective. But as somebody vehemently emotionally invested in this game, bye, feel up, hope you feel better. That's great. Stanford is garbage this year. I mean, they are bad at football. 3-7 on the year, 3-7 against the number, 4-7 on the year. These, D1 3-7 against the number.
They're not even fighting for bowl eligibility. It's over.
I'm sure their APR is super duper good. That ain't gonna help you here, man. Even if they could do it at 5-7, Pac-12 passed a rule against it because they realize how bullshit it is. Man, they lost to Cal, they lost to Wazoo, they lost to Colorado, they got stomped out by UCLA, lost to Oregon, lost to UCF. lost to Krampus slip slides. Actually, I don't know if he was quarterbacking USC at that point. That was early in the year.
I actually think that may have been the game where Fink.
I think that was the first Krampus. I think that was the first Krampus slip slide, wasn't it?
Man, I can't even remember. It feels like fucking ages ago when that game happened, along with that UCF game. Remember back then where it was like UCF finally got the Power 5 matchup they wanted, and then in comes Stanford just fucking trash. And then look at what happened to UCF after that. Ugh.
Man, look at the somebody made a joke on Twitter about the war on I-4 UCF versus USF 2 years ago was one of the best college football games we've had in, I don't know, 8 years.
That game was so bonkers insane. I mean, and off the turkey hangover, no less. You're just like, you couldn't keep up. It was exhausting to watch that game.
And now nobody could give even a passing shit. Anyway, let's get back. I'm going to lay back down on the couch while you scribble in your notebook.
Okay.
Stanford last week just blew a 10-year streak, losing to California.
That they did.
Berkeley for the first time in 10 years. That also at Stanford. So they have a tendency to lose streaks that are a decade long at the farm. Ian Book looks fantastic. The offense has been playing great. I know that you and Shane talked about the fan feed a lot last weekend, and I loved it. I hope it's a permanent fixture moving forward. One of my favorite things was Jess Matana being like any of us and still on edge and like not ready to loosen up. And Dalen Hayes fairly early in the third quarter being like, nah, they just tapped.
Yeah.
We're about to just run them out. And Jess was like, "Oh, no."
I've seen you guys do this shit to me before. It was the perfect little dichotomy sitting there to see all of us sitting there on the couch, edge of our seat, head in hands, just terrified that the other shoe's going to drop, and Dalen Hayes just kicking back. Fucking told you we're going to kill him.
He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's over." and shout out to Darius Walker. I love that dude. You and I got to watch him live. I had a couple classes with him. Coolest dude of all time. Love what I haven't seen him lately. I know he was doing some work with CBS Sports earlier in the year.
Yeah, he's still hopping around CBS Sports.
But he was great. The fan feed was great. Moral of the story. All we talked about is the fan feed because we beat the shit out of Boston College so bad we don't have to care. It was fantastic. But there's going to be rain. And Brian Kelly...
Just a little bit.
Brian, it's still rain. You watched the movie Unbreakable, right? Remember when Bruce Willis almost died on a fucking pool tarp with 4 drops of water? That's Brian Kelly. This motherfucker's still going to Palo Alto. He's lost to worse teams at Palo Alto. They're going to find some 4th string tight end who's never caught a pass in his goddamn life. He used to be a defensive tackle in middle school. And somehow no one's going to cover him.
But Kyle Hamilton can murder that son of a bitch. It's better, Eddie. It's
Kyle
okay.
Hamilton, I love you. Kyle Hamilton, I love you so much.
It's okay. I'm trying to reassure you now on the couch, Eddie.
No, I appreciate it. Look, Stanford is so bad. I'm taking Notre Dame.
Look at this.
I don't feel good about it. I'll tell you this much. I'm not putting actual money dollars on it.
Yeah,
the money dollars will be on the under.
Under.
You've got crazy wins. You've got water, which means Ian Book turns back into Tommy fucking Rees. You've got Brian Kelly drowns in a water bottle. And all Stanford needs to do is wait for Kyle Hamilton to go out, have Alohi Gilman somehow get hit for a targeting.
Dude, no, what are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
You?
This is my brain. This is how this happens. This is why I don't get to go on television like Jess Matana. Because I'm not going to be able to hold the profanity in. And B, the fact that how Jess was able to sit through that and not crack a random White Claw Maybe that was the commercial breaks. The poor girl's talking about, give me some food. I'm so hungry. They
Gave
got
her the shit
Random
she couldn't
McGee doing the fucking shilling for the luxury suites. And he's like, oh, I know what you need. Hey, what's up, gluten allergy? Check out this sweet ass breaded crab cake on 8 roll. What's good?
The look on her face to know that she now had to explain to a fucking national audience that she can't eat gluten.
Here's what I didn't understand, and maybe as a doctor I should understand this, but I don't know what the fuck gluten is, because I feel like she spent the whole time talking about how she wanted nachos, and you eat nachos with tortilla chips, and that seems like a gluten thing, right?
if they are made with corn, sir, they are fine. It is flour. It's the wheat in the flour, so the gluten is the wheat type stuff. So if those are flour tortilla chips, she's in a world of hurt.
Oh, but you get some corn tortilla. Okay,
Yeah, you get the corn tortilla, you're good, unless somebody's fucking around with the cheese sauce. You're
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you educational podcasts.
See, I know this to bring it around to Thanksgiving and the holidays. My mother-in-law, I had to learn all about gluten because she is not just gluten intolerant; she is celiac. So it is much.
Oh, that's
like,
that real shit.
Yeah, it's much like Jess. This is a no-go. So when she is over at our house, we got gluten-free products and stuff, and so I know way more about this than I ever thought I would have to in my life.
Well, how about that? See, look, this is an informative, educational podcast. Ryan, bud, I don't feel good about this pick. You know how I feel about streaks. You know how I feel about streaks.
They are made to be broken.
That's not how I feel about streaks at all. That's not at all what I was going for. I love trends. You can find pictures of me in a puka shell necklace. Luckily, I never went full frosted tips.
I need to find these pictures. I am contacting.
No, I never went there, but I had the dumb beaded necklaces. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I was all on that shit. Your boy loves fads, and your boy loves trends. And Brian Kelly, I swear to God, look, I'm not again. I saw people on Twitter this week being like, oh man, maybe we can still get in the Cotton Bowl. God damn it, I've been telling y'all for 3 weeks. It's like the 6 of you that listen to this podcast are not sharing the information with the rest of your friends. We are going to Orlando.
In the Orange Bowl.
Jesus, Ryan, I will drive up to Irving tonight and slap you right in the mouth.
Good thing I don't live there anymore, motherfucker.
Whatever bullshit suburb you live in, I will find you and I will show you that we are going to the Camping World Bowl. I will give you a 30% off coupon to Universal Studios because I'm pretty sure they still just hand those out at the airport. I think they have a Fast and Furious ride. We can all do that. That'll be fun. We're going to play future Notre Dame coach Matt Campbell in Iowa State, probably at this point. I don't know.
The Big 12 has now gone crazy enough to where it's hard to actually project who's going to be.
Yeah, I actually don't know. The funniest bowl projection I saw this week was Texas versus Texas A&M in the Texas Bowl.
I know. I am hoping. Because that'll be one game I actually feel comfortable about the Aggies winning with the way Texas is trending.
Oh, can we live blog or can we live pod that game somehow? Like, I'd be very into that.
I will find a way to contact ESPN and see if we could co-stream that shit.
Fuck a co-stream. Like, just put us on your phone for the audio and watch the game on your TV. It'll be great.
Nothing like the 20-second Twitch delay in the game.
I mean, it's probably better than whoever ESPN's got.
Either way, true.
Anyway. Look, BK, buddy, I have no problems with how this year's gone. I'm very happy with how this year's gone. I'm obviously, like all of us, the Michigan game. Performance was inexcusable. It's not the loss; it's the way that it happened.
Absolutely.
But we, as the one good Notre Dame blog and the one good Notre Dame podcast, Notre Dame Our Blogger and Rakes of Mallow, respectively, have talked about, that one game can't make it to where you can't enjoy the rest of the season. If it's going to do that, just turn off and tap. Yeah, don't pay attention. And if you do that, that's fine. Trust me, there have been many times.
I wish I could.
No, exactly.
Turn it off.
It'd be way easier. But if you lose to this Stanford team, look, we've made plenty of jokes about the Palo Alto thing before. We have lost to teams that we should not have at Palo Alto before. But this Notre Dame team against this Stanford team, if this is a loss, look, I want to buy my buddy a steak dinner because I took under 9.5 and he took over 9.5. I want to be wrong about that preseason prediction on this podcast. If we lose to this Stanford team, ooh, your boy is going to be angry, red, mad, and nude online. And there's no reason to do this. This is a good football team that Notre Dame has. What these seniors have done since starting out 4-8, a lot of them weren't playing. But I mean, look at the record at home. Incredible. They haven't lost a home game since the Georgia game.
Which is absolutely insane, especially where you think they were back in 2016.
Exactly. We talk about, old Brian Kelly curses. We've won every game in November for the last 2 years so far. It's time to break streaks, Brian. It's time to get rid of memes. Fuck memes. Memes are bad. These units of cultural diffusion must be destroyed, and the only way that can be done is with football points for the good guys. So I hope that Ian Book continues to be good at football, because a good Ian Book is way more fun than shitty Ian Book. Am I terrified about the wins? Yup. Am I terrified about our, let's be serious, not good at all run game? Yeah, I sure am.
Ian Book's taking it over. I mean, this part joke, also part, he doesn't give a shit anymore. He's pulling it down and going for it. He's like, this is my offense right now. Whatever clicked in his head. And look, it scares me that he is the best running back and quarterback on the team right now. But fuck it. If that's what you need to do, just do it.
But the difference about second half Ian Book versus first half of the season Ian Book is when he pulls it down, it is, oh shit, I have a huge lane to run. I'm going to run. Not, oh no, I got the snap 0.78 seconds ago. I'm going to go ahead and bail on this pocket that hasn't even had a chance to form yet. So, yeah, I'm scared about those things. You know what I'm not scared about? This fucking defense has been lights out. Clark Lee, I love you. Please don't leave me. I've been hurt before. There was once this real handsome guy. He was kind of weird. He had this weird, like, werewolves and vampire shit going. But he left and he was like, oh, this other, I have this new boyfriend in UConn and he's way better and he's going to make me a new deal. And he kind of sucked. And things were not great. There was the weird mustache guy period. That was...
Well, we're not going to talk about that.
Everyone makes mistakes growing up. But then
sometimes
then
we can't get rid of our old friends.
I was ready to get down on a knee and propose. And they were like, I mean, that ring's all right, but I'm going to need like 1.8 carats, not 1.2. And I, liquidated some assets and I got that 1.8 carat ring. And they're like, yeah, cool. Sorry. This other guy that I just met got me a 2.2 carat. And I was tapped. And he left me. But his little brother was around. And he's loyal. And he's strong. And I love him. Clark Lee never leave us. Kyle Hamilton is a golden fucking god. Let's shout out the linebackers. Asmer Bilal. I didn't believe in you. I will fully admit it. I didn't think the linebackers could do a goddamn thing. But what Bilal and White and everybody, I mean, they've had a great rotation. All the injuries we've suffered. I mean, Adi last week looked like a goddamn first-round player. And now I'm worried that he played so well that he's going to leave us because he could if he wanted to. Khalid Kareem has been fantastic. Alohi Gilman, could you ask for a better fit for a transfer player? Tony Pride has fought through so much. Sean Crawford obviously has fought through so much. All of the guys on this defense have been so good and fought so hard. And I believe in this defense through anything. To hell with Stanford. To hell with this 10-year streak. There is no reason to lose a football game now. So let's beat the shit out of Stanford. Let's be part of the global warming problem. Like a Brazilian dictatorship, let us cut down the Amazon.
This is getting to a weird spot.
Hail Gambler. Go Irish.
All right, folks, that will do it for us. Thank you for everybody that joined us here on twitch.tv/LilSuns. Come swing by tomorrow night to catch the sim. And, of course, you can subscribe to the podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you happen to get your podcast feeds at. And you can also check us out in Discord. That is our live chat channel, herloyalsons.com/Discord. You can always find us at our home at herloyalsons.com, despite what Eddie says. Till next time, go Irish, beat trees. Have a good one.